Before we get into this episode, I would like for you all to like, subscribe, and leave any comments. I greatly appreciate all those who are part of this fellowship and part of this team and part of this journey with me and many other guests where we discuss their journey towards their purpose, self-reflecting, so that we all can realize and have self-reflection within ourselves, that we may be able to be inspired and ultimately to remind ourselves we are not alone in our path to greatness. And today, man, I've got a friend of mine, somebody I met a while back, years ago, almost 10 years now.
Let's go, we're gonna go 8 minutes on the clock.
Don't be coming in here looking nasty.
All one? Yeah, all one. Hey, call your own fouls. You got game point? Yeah, end it with a free throw. Hey, Russell, there's no cherry picking, bro. No cherry picking. You gotta touch half court. No cherry picking.
Oh, you call me out. We can start. We can start.
A foot, Trey, you pass. You ripping, y'all can get. Start here. Start wide. You get 2 dribbles. After that second one, you picking up, right, left, right hand flow. All right. So, as soon as I wrap around, reach, you snake it here. Boom. It's exploding. Let's go inside hand on the left side. Go. Go. Yep. Go. Good. One more to right, 2 dribbles, 2 feet, right hand flow. 10. Let's go straight 2 dribble pull up. All right, slide over. Go slide. All right, we get to the opposite elbow from this slide. All right. That's 3. Come this way, 4, 8, 9.
Mother bros. How you doing, bro? How you doing, man? How you doing? I welcome. I appreciate it, man. Actually, this is a kind of a part of the segment. I've seen Rob not long ago, and we were talking, and you kind of popped up on me.
Yeah.
So it's funny that that's kind of the things of life. But the moment you popped up on me, man, my spirit definitely told me you were somebody that I need to have on here because of the fact that I remember when I met you and you being at Killian Park and we being out there and playing ball and seeing the journey. By the way, Rob Rose is a trainer, right? For a lot of you. Do you want to go ahead and tell us about what do you do as far as the training aspect and all that good stuff?
Yeah, but to go back, it was really, we met at Move Fitness.
Move Fitness?
Yeah, I think
that caught me off guard. Dang. Really?
Playing in the little box.
yeah.
I think
I do.
I want to say you kind of. I think you just came home.
Yeah.
And so like.
Yeah.
The first time I ain't like you for real, cause you was talking noise, and I think you had like put me in a post one time and scored it and said something. So I was like, nah. And then people told me like, hey, you just came from jail.
Yeah.
That ain't what you want. So like. After that,
that's
man,
crazy.
Then it was Killian, and then just everywhere else. We just got tight after that.
Man, that's dope. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was Move.
Move Fitness.
Yeah, man, I'm a trainer here in Columbia. Been doing it since 2013. AAU coach, director, high school coach as well. So I kind of got my hands in a lot of stuff.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. That's That's a dope aspect of thing, man. I didn't even think about that concept when we were talking earlier before we started rolling. I forgot about Move Fitness. I really forgot about that. But those were some good times. You was back in your balling days then. Bad knees, self moving like a young old Chris Paul.
Trying to, man.
Yeah, man.
I gave it up now.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I may look the part, but this is where it's at. But man, going forward, man, playing ball with you and kind of developing that relationship, I guess you were one of the first people that helped me acclimate myself in this new era away from at times. So being even at Killian, at the end of the day, you started to pick me up, I guess, matter of fact, now that I think about it, because of that, you actually gave me a shot at Killian, playing with other people and stuff like that, because they didn't know me and you knew me a little bit to know the place. So that, man, that's funny how God works in that way. But going into your training aspect of things, what got you into that? Like, what made you want to get into being a trainer?
Really, it was Bryant Latimer. I grew up with his younger brother, Rod.
Okay.
We went to college together. We was actually roommates. And I actually dropped out of college. And so from there, I really didn't know what I wanted to do or what to do. So my pops, he was cool with, you remember the Caprioska spot?
Yeah.
My pops was real cool with the manager.
Okay.
And so he gave me a job there being a server.
Really? You was at Caprioska?
Yeah. I was working there at night. Me and Lil Mike.
Lil Mike. Yeah.
We was working there, and that just wasn't for me. So I was lost for a second, trying to find my purpose, trying to find my way. And so Bryant just reached out to me and was like, I can put some money in your pocket on the weekends. Just come every Saturday and Sunday to Killian. Him and Rich Adams. You remember Rich?
Yeah, I do.
They used to have a clinic every Saturday and Sunday, and there would be like 30, 40 kids in there. Yeah. And, we would have both sides of the gym, and we would just put them through drills for about an hour or two every single week. Wow. And, that's how I got started. I didn't really know no drills.
So I was just about to ask you that, going into that jump that quick. Sounds like you were tapping into something, a part of your passion, right? Met you basketball related, right? I know a lot of your friends are basketball players as well. So it almost sounds like, that was already opening up the doors to a part of your journey and your purpose. So what did that look like when you was actually walking in it? What was the behind the scenes homework that you started to do? When we find things that we're passionate about, we'll be like, oh, because I can do it naturally, I don't think I need to do anything about it, right? So what was that like as far as what did you have to do to hone in your skills, like learning more training and things like that?
Really just studying the game on more than the surface level.
Gotcha.
And then to where I am now, I really take a deep dive into each individual player, because you can't train everyone the same way. Yeah. And you can't train everyone to play like you. Yeah. So if I train everybody to play like me, they ain't going far. Yeah. So I gotta take what they have and try to make them the best version of themselves. And it's kind of like a comparison game. If I see a kid, what's his ceiling? And I try to get him there, as efficient as I can. Not as fast as I can, but as efficient to where every time I see him, we getting better at something. Yeah. And it's more so not just figuring out new drills. Yeah. It's, can we master a one dribble pull up?
Gotcha.
Can you make a wide open shot? Once you can make a wide open shot, then we can move on to, other things. But we got to get the fundamentals and all of that down first.
How much is that mental for them? How much is the struggle more so with the mental of the kids? Kids coming in there, oh, I can hit an open shot, or older guys, man, this ain't nothing. But then, you take that, they have that openness and the reality of there's nobody guarding you, and then you have to get into how much do you see that play with their mental?
I think it's a lot. A lot of it is mental. A lot of kids can make an open shot. A lot of kids can make a layup. A lot of kids can handle the ball, but can you translate it to the game to where you don't blend in with everybody? And I think that's the hardest part because everybody can't do everything.
Yeah.
It's just guys doing it at a high level, guys that are doing it at an average level. And I think that is a testament to how much work that they put into, you know, off the court, outside of practice, outside of the mandatory things. So I think a lot of it is mental.
Yeah, that mental part of life is a real struggle. I think it's something we face all the time. What were some of the mental hurdles and challenges that you face?
Not having a crazy like basketball background to where people be like, I need to train Rob.
Yeah.
Like I had to really like grind and I had to struggle and I had to see other people win and do all of this before. And I'm still not where I want to be.
Yeah.
But that was the biggest thing because, you know, it's people that play big time Division I that can go to sleep tonight and wake up tomorrow and be like, I want to train. And they'll have a client list like that.
Yeah.
But my client list, it took the whole 10 years to get where I'm at. So that's the biggest mental.
Where do you think you learned that part? Like, see, the mental is a part of the journey, right? We're here talking about the journey of our purpose, and that's a huge factor. You know what I'm saying? The mental aspect of the game.
Yeah.
So, what was your childhood like growing up, if you don't mind me asking? Like, what was it like when did you grow up with friends? Did you have a neighborhood group of friends, or you know, what was that like? Were you the little short fat kid they picked on, or the unathletic kid? What was that like?
I had a good childhood. I grew up. It was a lot of just hooping in the neighborhood for real.
So you had that. So outside of hooping in the neighborhood, did y'all do anything else? Did y'all play games? Did y'all do some mischief together? Or who was your group of friends that got in some mischief, like some BS? Or were you not like that?
Yeah, I wasn't. Okay. I wasn't like a real troublemaker. Okay. I really didn't have no friends that was like real troublemakers either.
What in your childhood? What hardships did you go through? Family related, friends related. What were some of the hardships that you went through?
That's a tough one.
So you had a smooth sailing life, Rob? Like it was easy?
Nah. I would say growing up.
Was your mom tough on you? Dad tough on you? You know, sometimes I've learned in my life that we as children suffer a form of abuse, not necessarily that our parents are mean and evil, but because our parents grew up at times with a lack of communication, right? So let's say my dad was old school dad, traditional dad, right? Women are talking about traditional men things. My dad was old school dad. Loved us, was there for us. You know, him and my mom wasn't together, but, you know, didn't play that mess. But if I go to my dad and was like, when I played basketball, I was like, hey, Dad, was I good enough to play in the NBA? My dad would be like, no.
Right.
He would straight up say no. He said, you can't dribble with your left. You suck. You know.
So that's my mom.
Okay.
Flip the roles.
Okay.
My mom gonna keep it a band at all times. Yeah. And she was tough on me.
Yeah.
Her and my dad, they weren't together.
Gotcha.
For like a good part of my life. I can remember them being together when I was like 6, 7, maybe. But other than that, he was still there though. Like he was still there for me and my little brother and sister. But mom was tough. She was the disciplinarian. She was really, you know, hard on me because I was the only child for a minute. So, you know, obviously she has to, because you know, once my brother and sister came into the picture, I would see them get away with stuff that like I would have never gotten away with. Yeah. So
I think a lot of kids go through
that. I think that's what it was, man. It was less hardships. It just more of her and my dad just instilling morals and values into me for real. It wasn't I had to go through this to learn it. And like, you know, I think I was raised, you know, pretty good to where I can, if I'm in a struggle, I can get over it. Yeah. I can get through an obstacle. I can, you know, persevere through anything. But, you know, it was just more morals and values.
And that's part of that journey that we're going to get to, that first segment of the journey right there. That mental aspect of you just reliving that the things that our parents, good parents and healthy parents, and it's good for me to distinguish that, because everybody can be a parent or a mother or a father, but not everybody can be a parent. Being a parent what are you instilling in your kids so that 5-10 years now at your age, they can reflect and say they did this for me, right? Were you there, right? Your mom might have been hard, but she sounds like she also was your biggest supporter, right? And your dad, though it didn't work with them, they didn't allow that, right? Those pop-ups is what I talked to earlier when I introduced myself for the journey. That pop-up did not affect their responsibility, their love, and their nurturing, and their individual characters to pour into their child, right? And here it is, right? You identifying where that mental toughness come from, where you have to earn all your clients. You have to get it out the mud. You have to take advantage of all the responsibilities that it takes, or all the opportunities, I should say, that, you know, you took advantage of to get to where you're going, right? So, you know, big shout out to mom and dad on that, you know, even though things don't work out the way we want to as people, man, but big shout out, man. Look at that, right? So transitioning into that now, man. So you got things going, you're moving, you're thriving, you know, let's talk about the pop-ups of when you're doing something that you love to do. How many people were hating on you, bro? Like, what kind of people didn't want to pay you for your time when you was charging $20, whatever it was? Like, what was that like?
I'm not gonna say they don't want to pay. A lot of people don't, but it's up to me to say, okay, is this a person that'll help me build my brand? Because it got to be some type of transaction. So if you're not paying, then I need to use you, you know, because you're using me. But it's not a lot of those. I think a lot of people respect me for my time and for my money and for, you know, getting people better. Haters, everybody gonna have them. I never really, you know, pay attention to them.
I gave you hell last year in the Met League.
You did.
I gave you and Khadijah. I'd say
that's fine,
but it's healthy though.
For sure. It's fine because at the end of the day, man, I have to pay my bills, and that ain't got nothing to do with what I got to do every single day. I got people depending on me to get in the gym, do what we got to do, and then I got to depend on them to get there, give me my money so I can live.
That's
you know
real,
what I'm saying? So I don't have no time to even really think about what people.
Man, we get older people, man, you gotta let go of the ego, man. The ego, like you said, man, I was trash talking him last year. Now we've already established we're friends and understood it. Last year in the competitive drive of the game, I'm coaching my team against Rob Rowe, the coach, the trainer, and he got his people. And you know what's going on? The competitive drive. I'm looking at him like, he ain't a trainer. He can't even play basketball. But it was so much fun, man, and you took that like a G. And like I said, man, I appreciate you not being super sensitive. I appreciate mom and dad with the mental toughness.
I done heard worse.
With the mental toughness, nah, bro, I would never say nothing worse than something like that. I would never call somebody out their name or just credit their character to a point like that. So, like I said, even some people can't even take that from you. Some people get very personal and take it like that, but that's like we established the foundation of your mental fortitude that your parents instill. So the power of parents, what y'all do to your kids early shapes them for their future. So you have a lot of influence on your kids. You can't give up on your kids and allow life to pop up on you in a way that it makes you, you know, unable to do what you're supposed to do, which is, you know, raise your children. So, man, that's dope, man. That is definitely dope. So where are you at now? Like what now that you kind of got through a lot of obstacles, I'm sure you're still going through those things. Like, where are you going? Where are you at now? Like, you're no longer in Columbia as much no more. What's that journey been now that people are recognizing you and I see you kind of developing a following? Like, what's that part of the journey like now?
So not being in Columbia, I took a prep school job last year in Florida.
Oh, okay.
At Feltram Academy.
Okay.
That was a very good experience and it was needed. Just being away from home, it was literally basketball all day, every day. So like when my head coach called me to formally offer me the position, you know, I told him that was just something that I've been praying for.
Man, that's dope.
Because it's basketball morning to night, like literally. So my job was director of skill development. I was in charge of getting 20 kids better every single day.
Dang. So now let me cut in right there. That is another part of people don't realize when you're on these journeys and you're grinding and you're starting to earn the fruits of your labor, as the word says. And now you're held to an expectation.
Right.
Right. Now you're doing something because you love to do it.
Right.
You're passionate about it. It was just free. Now
It's work.
the opportunity comes and now they're putting a standard on you.
Yeah.
And I have come to learn that a lot of people, it's easy to do it naturally. It's easy to do it when it's on your time. It's easy to do it when you want. But when the expectation changes, man, I've seen people fold, man. I've seen people be like,
that's true.
Don't even want the opportunity no more because
like when he called me, when I accepted, immediately I had a notebook and I'm writing like a plan, and this is like maybe 2 months before I gotta even be at school. So the one thing I wasn't gonna do is show up unprepared. So I pitched it to him how I want to break it down. I don't want to have 20 guys in the gym at once. I want to do groups by position. He gave me free reign on everything. So we would have workouts in the mornings, and we would have practice maybe like an hour or two later. And he also wanted me to be a coach on the floor. So and I didn't mean to skip over this part. Like, he saw me on Twitter. I never met him. He saw all of my work on Twitter. He said that I seen like all of your YouTube videos, and I feel like you'll be a good asset to what we got going on. So going back to now, it's a standard and expectation on you. Like, this is somebody who never seen me before. He saw my work before.
Before you seen it.
So that meant a lot to me. Like, I really can't go in there BSing around. So I think I did a pretty good job, man. We went to the Final Four in our conference. We was, I think, like 5 or 6 weeks. We were the #1 ranked team for like 5 to 6 consecutive weeks. Going into we had a Christmas break. And then as soon as we came back, we dropped 2 in a row, which knocked us down to third. But
story of the day, pop up.
Third was, being ranked third was still the highest in what the school had previously done. So we maintained a very good season. Sent 2 guys Division I, couple guys Division II, couple guys JUCO and NAIA. But the way everything was structured, you could tell if a coach is not doing a job, just because it was only 3 of us. So we had to carry a large load, and I think all 3 of us did a pretty good job. But much respect to my coach for just seeing me, believing me, and giving me that shot. And then that kind of, I networked with a lot of college coaches down there, some people down there. So, it's just good to get different eyes on you, outside of home, and put your feet down somewhere else.
Now here it is. You're going through the pop-up aspect. Y'all dropped to #3, higher than the school standard prior to that. And what was that going forward at that point with the kids?
So let me back up. We started at the bottom.
Oh, wow.
I think we started at like 6 or 7, if I'm not mistaken. Out of like 8 to 10 teams.
Oh, wow. Shoot.
So I don't think there were many expectations coming from us. So then we climbed, we beat who we needed to beat. Like, our first big game was Montverde. We went in there and we went to Montverde and beat them. And they have a kid going to Baylor. Their point guard at the time had an offer from Stony Brook, which is Division I. Big went to Utah. So they got like the guys. We went in there with a bunch of kids nobody know yet.
David and Goliath.
And beat them. We was up by 20 at one point. So, from there, and it goes back to your hater talk. Now, as soon as we beat them, those kids this and they that. That's why y'all won. And then we beat IMG. Then it was like, they have a draft pick on their team. He's going to Oklahoma State, but in the mock draft, I think he's going to be a first-round pick.
Maybe that's a calling later for you too, and part of your purpose.
We'll get to that. But we just gotta, when we get an opportunity, we have to take advantage of it, because at the end of the day, a college coach don't want to recruit any losers. So as long as you have that win beside your name, it brings value to where, okay, if coaches aren't on you now, they're gonna circle back towards the end of the year when they're still recruiting, still trying to find guys to place on their teams, and et cetera, et cetera. But we just climbed. We went to number 3. That was the highest in school history.
That's what's up.
Beat who we needed to beat after that, and we took over the 1 spot going into Christmas break, and maybe like a week or 2 after. But we just dropped back down to 3 after we dropped those 2 games, so it wasn't nothing crazy.
Yeah. So is that even another level of the journey, right? Kobe's, I said it, I've been hearing it a lot lately. Kobe says, you don't wake up one day and you're great on a Wednesday. Right. You're great every day.
Yeah.
So that when it comes, you're already great, right? So you popped up and exceeded expectations. So that's almost like a high. Like that's like we went 6 to 7, adrenaline's kind of high, momentum, energy. But then heavy is the head that wears the crown. You know what I'm saying? So now you're top number 1, number 2. You go on the break, take your foot off the gas a little bit, then it hits you, right?
Well,
so how did you get them to stay focused after dropping and losing 2 games, and to instilling them, hey, we gonna finish strong, even if it's 3rd place?
You just pretty much said everything that happened. So in the midst of being number 1, my coach's game plan was he was so detailed with everything: basketball, weights, how we lived, what we ate, how we traveled, where we stayed. He was detail oriented. So everything on the floor, everything in practice was something that was gonna translate. We was not in there wasting time. He's not a big run suicides guy. Like every minute in practice is gonna be something we can score out of, or it just brings value. So we were prepared every single game. There was not one game where we got to figure it out during the game. Yeah. We already know the adjustments we need to make. We got this for that. Yeah. We got that for this. If they do this, we got that. Like we was prepared. Yeah. So it was more so personnel issues to where, okay, we can win with anybody. We don't need this kid to score 20 and that kid to score 20 and this kid to score 20. So as we're climbing up and as we're getting better, a lot of egos got in the way and a lot of kids left. Yeah. That was the problem. A lot of kids left because, okay, I'm not needed no more. I still need film. Mm-hmm. I still need stats to do what I need to do. So they felt like, well, let me go somewhere else where I can, play and showcase my game instead of playing to win. Yeah. I'm a firm believer in you can play to win and you can showcase at the same time. Yeah. At the same time, because a lot of people in AAU, they'll tell you, y'all just want to win games. Like, how stupid do you sound? Yeah. Like, I want to win every time I step on the floor. Yeah. We can showcase, we can win at the same time. Yeah. So a lot of kids, that's a mental battle that they couldn't handle. So that played into the role where we lost some kids, and we was kind of thin for a minute until we got back from Christmas break and got some more kids in. But it was just an ego situations. But the kids that were there, that were a part of it, even the kids that didn't play as much, you got to approach every single day, like you said, wanting to be great, like what Kobe did. And it was a struggle, even for me. It was basketball all day, every day, but from September to March, it was days where I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing this today, but I'm getting paid to do it. And it's so crazy, bro. Once I stopped working 9 to 5s and working for somebody, I would be calling out, doing all kind of stuff to miss work, but I never called out of this job.
So we going back to what you were saying, you was talking about the different egos that you had to deal with when the kids started to walk away from the mentality. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's easy to do things that seems natural, but when the expectations change, right? When you're winning, expectations change, standards change. When things are growing, things change, right? And you said you were experiencing some of that when some of the kids wanted to walk away and they wasn't about winning, right? And it goes to show you that, right? People, before you get into that, because we do that as people all the time. We put this standard on each other, this expectation on ourselves or on other. We project what we want out of these people. And we say it's because of, I want to grow in life, I want this marriage, I want this family, I want this job, I want this dream. And we want, without the realization of, some of us will actually take that literally and really apply it and start doing what needs to be done and making it happen. And then when it starts to see, when those people who were projecting on you what they expected of you, the funny thing is your job had an expectation of you. They seen something good in you, right? But there could be a flip side to that intent, which will later be revealed, I'm sure, if they really wanted you to succeed or they really wanted you to fail. So they threw an expectation on you, not believing that you could either win or succeed or really believe it. And they'll just say, oh, I believed in you. Yeah, we gave you the opportunity, but you failed. See, they wouldn't really want you to win, because every moment that you fail, they're going to hold it on. You know what I'm saying? Steph Curry said that on his underrated. He came in as a freshman, and the coach he had a bad game, and he had made some poor mistakes, man. If you see that underrated film, the beginning of it, man, he looked trash. I'm talking about trash. It's no different from life. It's no different from a man telling you something and then lying, or a woman thinking she's gonna do this, or a job putting you on this and it doesn't match up to what you believe or what they say. And that's what he looked like. But the coach didn't squander him for it. He got on him about it, and then the next game he played like Michigan and dropped 32, and they still lost. So it's not even to say that, okay, he got better and everybody won. They still lost, you know what I'm saying? But his confidence got better because he grew in it. And then he realized, he said, man, my coach could have stifled me. He could have punished me for that one game, and who knows what that would have done to affect me. Sure. So we go back to opportunity. He was like, man, I'm going to make the most of this. I'm going to get another chance. I'm going to do right this time. Yeah. So going into what you were saying, dealing with the egos of the kids leaving you, how was that like for you? Like you said, basketball, July to March, you know, what were you getting into that as far as your purpose?
Well, yeah, once the kids left, it didn't really affect me much, just because, you know, how I approach the game. I'm confident in my ability to get anybody better. So if somebody leave, that just means next man get the opportunity, and I'm gonna put my time into you. Mm-hmm. You know, if nobody's about winning anyway, I don't want to be around them. You know, so that's just how I dealt with that. I moved on quick. We brought some new guys in. They was about winning, so you know, I got a new group of guys to work with, along with the guys that stayed down and was with us. You know, so. You know, that was easy. But can't remember what I was saying. I think I was finna tell you, you know, this how I knew this was my purpose, because I was before I started training, and even in the midst of it, I was working like regular jobs. And I just couldn't focus at work. Like I remember I was working, you know, office jobs, cubicle jobs. I had me a notebook, and I'm writing workouts, and like this is what I would do. I would calculate what I'm making. Let's say I'm making $10 an hour, I'm working eight hours a day. Calculate, okay, Monday I'm making $80 a day. Tuesday, same thing. So I would calculate that for the end of the week. And so I'm like, okay, on the training side, I just need 4 workouts per hour to get what I'm getting at this job. Yeah. If I could just make it equivalent and make it match, I'll quit this job quick. And so, you know, I would have jobs and
cubicle jobs.
Yeah, cubicle jobs. Anything in front of a computer or something. And I would just have a notebook, and I'm writing workouts, and like I said, I was calculating what I made on my job and what I needed to make just to make it match on the training side. So I'm making $10 an hour, working 8-hour days, that's $80 per day, which is doable on the training side now, but back then it was a struggle for me. But
seemed easier, right? When you map it out like that.
You're like, okay, I just need 4 kids per hour, you know, maybe 4 or 5 hours and I'm straight. But it didn't work like that. In that stage of training. So, man, it was one job I used to just get written up just because I wasn't paying attention to what I'm doing and paying attention in training because my focus is somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so, at that point I was like, man, it's selfish of me to be on somebody's job and not giving, what I need to give.
I'm gonna pause that. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. That's real self-reflecting. So part of the journey that I hope to accomplish with individual is a self-awareness within themselves to start making the decisions that's going to make them and produce happiness and produce the joy that they really seek for. And that's how you get to where you're at, right? You just get tired of the same systematic programming, and then you try it here and but eventually it took you, like you said, you were starting to do it. The vision was coming. We want the vision to be as clear as opening up this window and seeing the sky. But our vision is so cloudy with the stars and the moon and all this stuff. But what I'm using is the perspective of experiences of life. The pain, the hurt, the heartache, the conditioned mindset, working 9 to 5, go to college, do this, don't have kids, all these different things that program your mind to get you away from the natural aspect of what you were called to be, which was your purpose. You know what I'm saying? It's filtered. Now you got to filter that according to the word. When I look at the word, I don't know how many people believe, but part of that in the word is that is the punishment of the sin of Adam and Eve. It says it wasn't like they were stupid because Eve was able to recite the scriptures to the serpent, right? And Adam was able to name everything. So they knew enough intelligence to know that. God also gave them intelligence to be able to say, don't do this, don't do that. So they weren't stupid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But then we go into the scripture and they said, then they ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and they could see and immediately was ashamed. That's what life does to us. You know what I'm saying? I get out my mama house, I taste the world. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I get my own car, I get my own job, I get my own money, I taste the world. And now it clouds your mind from knowing that, man, when you was at your mama house, all you had to do was come in and be on your best behavior. You ate good, you lived good, PlayStation, toys, shoes. All you had to do was just do what you're supposed to do, right? So now the fact that you realize that you was being selfish because you weren't giving your time a day is I think is a real testament to what we talked about earlier. Yeah. That mental fortitude.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. So just once I made that decision, things became easier. Mm-hmm. And then this was right around the time I used to lock in to the 10,000 hours. Like I was, I was locked in.
Is it like if you do something 18 minutes a day?
Well, no, just not that, but you just, whatever it is, you got to put your 10,000 hours in to master it. Yeah. So like, that was a big part of my journey, just seeing what he went through, because I think he was worse. Like he was damn near homeless at times. Yeah. And right around the same time, Steve Harvey made the jump speech. Mm. And so like once he said that, and once I heard it, that's when I'm like, okay, it's time to like, and I wasn't at a point where I was making that money every day, but still just hearing that, it's time to jump. Yeah. And if this is what I want to do, because I already had the vision for it, I got to put my all into it. And so, I'm not ashamed or scared to admit, like I had my own apartment at the time. I got evicted. Yeah. Just because I couldn't keep up with the bills. That's real. But now, like I work too hard to let that happen. Yeah, so, man. I'm not worried about it. But
that's a lesson.
It's a lesson that I don't want nobody to follow the same path that I did. But you got to realize that it's not going to be easy if it's your passion. I'm a firm believer in finding something you love to do and monetizing it. Whatever it is, you just got to figure it out. But like you said, we let the day-to-day life of things needing to be done, bills needing to be paid, to kind of put off what you want to do. And you'll never get to doing it if you don't take a risk, at some point.
But that's something you talk about behind the scenes, right? You said you were working 9 to 5 and you wasn't passionate, so you would find ways to get out of work. You would call off. Mm-hmm. You would find a reason to get out of it, right? So when I came, right, I was just telling you, right, I go to work. I work construction. I got to be there like at 6 a.m. Typically, I'm up by 5, right? So that's every day. I'm up by 5, right? Everybody, okay. So then from that angle, I say what motivates me is, okay, when I read these $1 million mentors or the mind of a mentor, they'll say successful people start their day at 4 a.m., 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. I don't want to wake up at 5 a.m., but my job forces me to wake up at 5 a.m. God is moving like, you're going to wake up at 5 a.m., bro. You know what I'm saying? And you got to get in the routine, right? So then I get off, right? So then on Friday, I get off at 2:30. It's hot, work. I've been up. I got to make this 3.5, 4-hour drive, right? Get back home. Everybody be like, man, you can chill, relax. I got to get back home because I got to be punctual, right? I got to get things done with the window of freedom I've got. So I get home. Like I told you, I go see my cousin, hang out with him for a minute, do some things that needs to be done with him, get the TV that I need, all this other stuff. And then Saturday, I need to get a haircut. I got to go run and set up for the Met League. I got to go do this. I got to do that. I got to visit my mom just to show face because I ain't seen my mom. I just want to make sure she's good. Calling my brother, right? Squeezing in people that I love and care about. Ran into you, right? Look how it works. Because I was like, man, I'm about to go home, but I seen somebody that needed to talk to. She just wanted to talk. It was a good conversation. She needed to hear that. And then I ran into you. And in that moment, I was like, hold up. I need to get him. And I had to stop her for a moment. I was like, I need to go get him. You know what I'm saying? That's that pop-up aspect. Sunday comes, I got to get up. I hit church. From church, I got to get errands done to get the Met League set up. I'm calling my media guy. Hey, did this equipment come in, this and that? These are things that people don't see behind the scenes. Then I'm at the Met League at 1:30. I'm there all the way till 11 o'clock at night, right? And then boom, back right at it again today, right? Chasing my purpose, right?
But you gotta make it happen.
Gotta make it happen.
That's why it was so easy for me to just call off work because I'm not the one making stuff happen at my job. But when it's my stuff, like my brand, my name, my label, then it's like you said, people don't see the behind the scenes of how the day-to-day is really ran and what actually goes into it, and it's a lot. And if you not a person that makes stuff happen, then you're gonna struggle.
You're gonna make it happen.
That goes back to what you were saying. You a person that either do it or talk about it, or you're a person that actually do it.
Yeah.
So.
And it's okay to talk, you know what I'm saying? Because I had to talk about what I want to do for a while, but sometimes talking gets old, right? You know what I'm saying? You got to do it because that talking just builds anxiety up because then when somebody touch on your trigger, you don't know how I'm gonna do it. But you're not doing it. Oh, I'm this type of person. I am. But it doesn't show. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to believe that. But sometimes your belief has to manifest into actions. Yeah. The Bible says we were created in his likeness and his image. One of the things about that likeness and image, the image is what we personify, what we show, and the character witness. The likeness is the walking part. How are you like God? How are you like Christ? You know what I'm saying? The image is the character. It shows. Likeness and image goes hand in hand. You can't say you can, but it doesn't produce good fruit if you say I'm loyal, but then when hard times come, you run. That's the time to be loyal. You can't say you want something good, but then you don't want to put in work. My mom used to say, we appreciate the things we put in work for. When you give your kids a Christmas gift or you give your athletes, foam rollers, or you give them something because you see the work and this and that, they don't treat it with the same respect and effort that it took for you to go get that.
Right.
A year later, that PlayStation got a lot of dust. They don't play the game.
Ready. All right. To break down what you were saying, even simpler about appreciation. Like now in the AAU world, I don't even take my basketballs in the gym no more. The kids, they didn't pay for them, so they don't care. But if you make them bring their basketballs, they either not gonna bring one or they gonna carry it on their hip. So it's like goes back to appreciation. They don't appreciate, all things that are just given to them.
Yeah,
they gotta, earn it, or they have to have earned it.
Yeah.
So.
And I just like to summarize things, man. I think, we as people sometimes got to see the opportunities that we have in life. And they're not always what we expect or what we want. But if you can see the opportunity, then if you have the mental fortitude, the level of appreciation, the self-awareness and focus, then you can take any opportunity and make it the best situation for you. And with that, you can know if it's for you or not now. You know what I'm saying? Like that journey of the kids walking away, it hurts, but it don't, because now you're going to go through that so many more times that it'll numb you and condition you to say, you know, I really wish the best for you. You'll have all the right words to say. You'll mean it, but you'll be able to walk away from it. You know what I'm saying? It's like a heartbreak. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you go through enough heartbreaks, it numbs you, which is not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. But, you know, if you learn to channel that in a certain way, you know how to let go of things a little bit sooner. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Part of your purpose, man, that is showing is a level of resiliency to give people the belief in themselves that you yourself had to find within yourself. That was instilled in you from the beginning of your childhood, as we've stated too. I believe that you have a story that is going to continue to grow. You may have just closed chapter 14, you know, but you're made it to chapter 14, but you're at the beginning of chapter 15, you know what I'm saying? And that, you know, when you go down to this prep school, who knows what doors that'll open, and we'll end it. Like if you had to think about, you know, with everything that's been said and you talked about today, what goal would you have liked to achieve that can just truly identify the journey you've been on?
Once I get to the NBA, like that's gonna tell it all. Just because the people that know, the people that's been close to me, they'll know exactly what went all into it. But that's the end goal. I feel like I'm close.
Yeah.
So I just gotta keep going and just do.
So we've accomplished. We discovered the tools.
Yeah. We
Resilience.
gotta do everything at a high level now.
At a higher level.
You know, strategically.
Yeah.
Get content out. I need people to see me.
Yeah.
I need to be reaching out to people. So just doing everything on my end to get there. But I feel like I'm close. So. You know, I just gotta see it through.
That's dope, man. I think the overall purpose, man, for you, man. I know a lot of people are not into God or, you know, the way that I am maybe, but I still believe that God has made everybody and all creatures, and we still have our own purpose. And ultimately, man, the purpose is to build each other up, man. Ultimately, he called us, he tells me as a Christian, he says, you know, go and spread the gospel and share the news of the love of God. You know what I'm saying? And if we were all, he said, I created man in a likeness and image, then that likeness and image is love.
Yeah.
It's not for me to condemn or criticize who's going to be what and what in the afterlife. It's just really just to show love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? God was marveled, or Jesus was marveled twice in the New Testaments, and they were both people that were not of Christianity. They were Gentiles, you know, the opposite. But that's the point of Christ, you know, to show love to everybody and what that looks like according to his likeness. Not my likeness, his likeness. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Big difference. Lord and Savior. He's my Savior when he died on the cross. He's my Lord because I obey his commandments. You know what I'm saying? And we all need that at times. So I believe that at the end of the day, man, your structure and your walk in life, it's a testament that even the end goal for you, or the goal, not even the end goal, because you get there, that may be chapter 28 start of it. They may want you to be the GM, or you may be having a black ops gym, you know what I'm saying? So, but ultimately it's going to be the same thing, the same fruit of your purpose. Touching on people with your hard work, going through your resilient work to build those underneath us. You know what I'm saying? So, man, man, it was a pleasure, bro. I appreciate you popping up, man. Do you want to shout out to anybody who's helped you along the way, or you know, tell some NBA scouts you better be looking for you or something?
Gotta shout out Brian Latimer. He the one who. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. Rich, same thing. Then shout out to my Carolina Pressure guys, the staff. You got Dre, Monte, Jesse, Trent, Cam, Daniel, DB, Russell. Yeah. Then my Dreer guys. You got AJ, Boss.
Oh, AJ, Mr. Cotwood.
And shout out to all the clients that decided to, you know, come work with me. Yeah. Shout out to all my players. And, you know, That's it.
That's what's up, man. Well, I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate
Coming
you.
out here, showing me love, giving this opportunity, man. I hope this platform actually reaches to those that can help you grow in yourself. You know, this platform is not for me, but really more so for those to get themselves out there and that, man, diamonds in the rough, bro.
Yeah.
So, you know, I appreciate it. Hey, man, that will conclude for us, man. Y'all stay tuned, man. I hope y'all were able to enjoy it, man. I hope y'all were able to identify what it took for this man to get to where he was going and what he's striving to do, a part of his purpose. This is the season that he's in now, but you see where he's trying to go, man. We hope that we can root for him, and we just wish him the best, man. Y'all stay tuned, and we out.